Getting on the jelly bean, jelly, jelly, jelly bean. Getting on the jelly bean, jelly, jelly, jelly bean.
Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey
Jelly
yo.
bean, jelly bean. Anyway, hi. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of This Week in Google Glass. Episode number 45. Where the heck are we? What are we doing? What about the
No
animals?
one
What were these?
knows.
No one knows?
No
No
one
one knows.
knows.
Hey, everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, Think Magazine. Put in a geek, you've got Geekazine. And this week in GoogleGlass.com, GoogleGlassLake.com. And as always, my cohort, the Jelly Bean cohort in crime. Swish it over there. That's your
Whoa,
cue.
caught it in. This is Luke Luca coming at you from the internet.
From the,
That's
as opposed to somewhere else.
yeah. I suppose live
Magic.
streaming from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm up in the cloud now and coming at you live from the jelly bean, jelly roll, peanut butter jelly time. Luke at twig.tv, Luke on Twitter, Luke Wallace on Google Plus. Yeah, here every week. Well, every week we do a show.
You know, I found something interesting out about that whole Luca thing.
Oh, you did?
Luca. We've been kind of playing on the whole Suzanne Vega song, Luca, on the second floor. Yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the MP3. The Frauhauer Institute put out the encoder for MP3, and apparently they used one of Suzanne Vega's songs to fine tune the algorithm when they created the first MP3s. So Suzanne Vega is considered the mother of MP3s. So does that make you the son of MP3s?
Yeah, I think it does. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. I did not know that. Are
Me
you
neither.
saying
Not
that-
not until yesterday, and now you're the son of Suzanne of MP3s.
Yeah, that sounds more right. Redheaded stepchild at best, maybe.
The black sheep.
Yeah. So, wow, you have all this tech history that you know. Where do you, man? Do you tell everybody this tech history? Is there any sort of?
No, I keep it to myself.
That sounds like you as a
Pretty much.
podcaster.
Pretty much, you know. No, I do have a show called Day in Tech History over at dayintechhistory.com. So, and of course, I just got to, actually, that's what I was doing today, was I was taking the month of July and getting, because I want to do like 2 or 3 months ahead, because I can. I mean, it's not like there's any new news going to come in tech history. And that new news I'll just talk about next year. So yeah, that's, I finished up July. Some of the big events that happened last year on the 24th was the Chromecast came out
Ooh.
in that silent thing, and then they talked the new iPhone and what else? Facebook did something, but I can't remember what it was. Other than that, it was pretty quiet. 2013. So it's too hot to do anything. Nobody wants to do
Man,
anything.
it is getting hot. It is getting hot.
So how hot is it in Houston?
I don't really know. I'm not in Houston.
Or you're in Dallas? That's right.
Yeah, I'm around Dallas. You can tell we have a lot of news because we're talking about the weather. But it's hot. We're hitting. I don't know if we're hitting 100 just yet, but we're getting up real close. I think we just got through June without hitting 100, and that was the first time in like, I don't know, 15 years or something that we've had a June without hitting 100. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So it was kind of a big deal that it didn't hit 100. Maybe not that long, but it's been a while since we haven't hit 100. So.
Yeah, it's 82 here, so it's nice and cool.
In comparison, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, anyway, so did you have a great 4th of July? Let's stop this banter and start talking about Google Glass. Do anything for 4th of July?
Nothing Google Glass related.
Yeah.
So
Me neither.
yeah.
I guess we were all Google Glassed out. So, I mean, you think about it. Next week, for me, next week is going to be the next week Wednesday will be the day that I actually went last year and got my Google Glass. So I will have officially had a pair of Google Glass for 1 year. next week. So that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
So, but now it just kind of sits out there in the corner.
Yeah.
Unless I'm showing it off to people or something like that. So, but anyway, so no pictures from either of us but we would have just taken pictures of fireworks, and you've seen fireworks before, so
Yeah.
that's usually how it works. So let's get into the news for this week. How's that?
Sounds good.
Because I've got a very special part for this. I'm actually on Geekazine. I'm actually reviewing. Verizon has sent me a few different Android phones to review, and I got a couple before, and I got the Samsung S5, and I got the HTC One M8 here. And one of the tests that I did was I actually hooked them up to Google Glass to see what their differences were. And I've got a couple other, I've got my iPad here, and I've got my Nexus 5 here, served on an iPad platter. And we're going to talk about the, I just used motion launch to launch your widget. No, I don't want to do that. So anyway, so we'll talk about that, and we'll do that in a minute. But first of all, let's get in the news. Before we do that, just want to let everyone know, go over to thisweekingoogleglass.com over at twig.tv. I'm going to actually be redoing the website in the next day or two out of the WordPress 2014 thing. But this is where you can go get the audio, get the video, and you can also get it on iTunes. You can also get it on Stitcher, and many different places. We're on Facebook. We're on Google Plus, of course, and of course twig.tv. You can go there. So, excuse me. Ooh. Case of the belches this evening right now. So, all right, we're going to start with the article. Basically, last week we went to XE 18.3, or as I like to call it, 8.3. I don't know. I just like not to go into double digits yet. We're not ready for double digits. So, anyway, so they came up with 18.3, and really, we've only found one addition to 18.3, and that is the Google Glass viewfinder option. So when you go to take a picture now, you don't have, and I do this all the time. I want to take a picture, and it's like, this cup is out of place. I got to move it down here. Okay, take the picture. No, I got to move it up. Oh, now I take the picture. With the viewfinder, now I can set everything, and then I can take the picture and go from there. And I think I think it's a great option, and I'm glad they added it. And so I'm glad that in 18.3 they have that. Did you see any other new additions in 18.3 there, Luke?
Technically, they added some more Google Now cards, but that's really just making sure all the cards show up in Glass that show up on your phone, in your Google Now.
Okay.
So that's not really, it's kind of new, but not really. It's just kind of making sure every card shows up or more of the cards show up. And then they said it improved performance. I noticed that, or it seemed to be better like the first day or two I tried it. Today it was horrible. So it has good days and bad days, but I haven't noticed a consistent performance improvement with it.
Just like me. I don't know. Anyway.
Can't improve on perfection. So.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind. So wrong, but so kind. Anyway, so yeah, 18.3 came out. I think, just to have that one option of the viewfinder is so, it's such a great addition. And it's like one of those things that's like, they could have added it about a year ago. And
people have been asking for it.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it's out there. So no word as to when the next revision is coming out, but we'll see what happens. And of course, the real question is, we've got the version 2 pairs of Google Glass. How will this start to affect with the new hardware, the version 3? Will we start seeing poor performance and simply because we don't have an extra gigabyte of RAM? How can we put another gigabyte of RAM into our Google Glass and go from there, which we probably can't. And yeah, so
I wouldn't recommend trying.
Why not?
Well, my soldering skills aren't that good. I think you'd have to solder take a chip off and maybe put a new memory chip on, and I don't think I could do that. I'm not even sure where the chip is.
Yeah, that's true. It's somewhere in here.
Well, yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
it's somewhere in
Yeah.
here. So,
True.
it's
You know
it's
better than I do.
yeah, yeah. It's actually interesting because I was doing some cleaning this weekend and I found my first 1080p camera, which I took to CES, my first CES with me, and it was one of the little gun looking ones by a Chinese company. I can't remember the name of the company, but it didn't have an input, a microphone input. So what I did was I ripped out the micro. I opened it up. I ripped out the microphone and I hooked up a line in with resistor and everything like that, and it worked okay. But
Wow.
there was a high pitched squeal every time I
Uh,
tried to record something. I ended up getting a new camera and switching up. But I found it and it was like, wow, this is like my first attempt at this stuff. This is awesome. So I've done a little bit of soldering in my time. That's the point. And but yeah, I don't think I'd open up my Google $1,500. I wouldn't do that. So
no.
yeah,
No.
no. So all right. Well, if you nothing much more to say about 18.3, we'll move on from there. Did you know that Google Glass wearers can steal your password? Did you know that, Luke?
What? That sounds like a horrible thing. Passwords are important, so if they can steal them, I hate those Google Glass people. I shake my fist at them. That's what they want us to do when they title their article that way, right? They want us
Yeah,
to we have to just hate these people even though we don't really
yeah.
know
Don't
them.
quit your day job. So
What?
anyway,
Uh-oh. 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 I think we lost him. Well, now I'm a little confused. We seem to have lost Jeffrey Powers, so if you're watching this, we'll have to continue on. I don't know where he is. I see this account. Uh-oh. It says we're still live, so hmm. Well, that's not real good. Don't know if he's here or not, and I don't know if it's actually broadcasting. It says it's live. There's no one in the Q&A. Well, may have to edit this video down and see what's going on. Oh no. Jeffrey Powers has informed me that his internet connection was down and looks like he's back now.
yeah, something happened. That was kind of weird. So okay.
May have to edit that video out and edit up the.
Why do I have to edit? You should be editing some stuff.
I
Bam.
can I can do that.
You can do that.
I I,
Okay.
I think I can. I don't know. I can probably do that. I can try. I'll try.
I don't. Well, another, something about Mondays and storms because we've got another storm front coming through
Oh
here.
man.
So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. And yeah, all of a sudden you had this look to you, and I was like,
That's my
and
regular face.
Luke, use the force, Luke. Anyway, so
Uh-huh.
yeah, that didn't work out too well. So I don't know. Are we? Oh yeah, perfect. Right there. Right there. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, kind of something like that. Not as dorky, but
Wow,
so
good.
I don't know. Are we still recording? I
It
think we're
says
still
live
recording.
up in the corner, so I think we're
Yeah.
still live.
All right.
Oh,
Well, if this fails, we're not doing this again. Simple as that. So.
no, we can say we lost it, and if you didn't watch it live, you missed out. So,
Anyway, 21 gun
yeah.
salute. That was only 14. I don't have enough bullets. So anyway, where were we? We were moving on, weren't we?
Yeah, it looks like it's still going.
Okay. All right. Well, we won't worry about that too much. We'll
Yeah.
just we'll keep moving on,
Do we
moving
need to do a
on.
clean edit somewhere? Do we need to kind of
Nah,
stop and? All right.
nah. You know, that's that's the beauty of this whole thing. Maybe it'll be an interesting in between. I'll just keep it all in. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
wonder what
let's.
happened there.
So what were we talking? We were talking. We were going to. I was segueing into
Oh, to
stealing your
the
password. So tell us a
yeah.
little bit. Tell us a little bit about this. This actually came up last week. Luca, just let us know a little bit what happened here.
So yeah, I think what happened for our little outage we had was somebody hacked our password. So how they probably did it is how this
Dang
article
them!
talks about it. They hacked your Wi-Fi password.
What happened?
But seriously, this is an article. I'll try to be as newsy as I can. I'll try to just give the facts of the article before I give my commentary. But so basically, there was a group. Let's see if I can get his name. It's at University of Massachusetts, and one of the security researchers uh, kind of was doing a proof of concept using video from various sources. So they were using videos with camcorders, webcams, cell phones, and Google Glass. Uh, and they were taking video of people typing in their passwords on like lock screens of devices. So their iPad, for example, they were taking video of someone sitting at their iPad and punching in their passcode before, browsing the internet. And what they did is they were able to analyze the video using some software they wrote that I guess kind of watched where your hands were moving and analyzed those points. And then they mapped those finger touches to the known locations of the pin on an iPad or whatever device it was, and they could see, oh, well, if you touch, they could barely see your finger, and it was kind of at an angle, and they really couldn't see the screen, but they could calculate where your finger was touching on the screen well enough that they could get your password. Uh,
So bottom line, that this was a Mission Impossible James Bond type move using Google Glass.
So yeah, they took video, like I said, from different sources, and one of those sources they tried out was Google Glass of, sitting not too far away with Glass, and then using the video that they got from Glass and analyzing that video and seeing would the software still work? And they found
Okay.
yes, it did. Um,
So the bottom line is, it really is just the leering over the shoulder, mirrors on the shoes type, type cheesiness. And it was really funny. I remember working at this one place, and I controlled the video security system, and we had a camera set up right on the ATM because we didn't want somebody to damage the ATM, but I could zoom in and watch that person put in their PIN number, and all I need to do is swipe their card, and next thing you know, I've got their money. So, this sounds no different than me doing something. Not that I did that. Never did that. Never did that. I could have, but I never did that. But it also sounds like if I took my phone and just did this, like I'm at a rock concert or something like that, and got the PIN that way. Correct?
Correct. There is nothing about this story that makes it Google Glass specific. There's nothing that Google Glass gives an advantage over anything else. In fact, it's just using the video from glass. So it's using just video. Um, they said the purpose of this um, research was to try to encourage Apple and other manufacturers to make the placement of the number pad for like a pin entry system more random on the screen so that if people can see over your shoulder when you're entering your pin, they won't have as good of a chance of telling what your pin code is. Because like, let's say if someone hit 1111 as their pin code on an iPad,
Hmm.
if you watch them a few times unlock their device, you would pretty much be able to tell, oh yeah, they're hitting 1111,
Yeah.
you know, like you wouldn't have to see it real clearly to know that. And so they're really just trying to make it so that, or that's what they said the purpose of the research was to try to
Yeah.
encourage this change.
Well, I put a lock on my phone simply because of the fact, this time last year, my iPhone was stolen,
Hmm.
and Jennifer and I talked about it. I really don't have anything that's going to be horrible. And there's no passwords. There's no text messages with passwords in my phone. So they would have been able to get into my Facebook and stuff like that, but they wouldn't have been able to change a password. And by the time I started changing my other passwords, they would have been locked out of that stuff. But but ever since then, when I got the Android, I actually put a lock sequence in there. But that's basically if somebody steals my phone out of my car, they're not going to be veering over my shoulder to begin with to see that. But yeah, this is always a big thing, and this is why some people take their monitors and cut them open and they put that protective film on. So if you look at it from an angle, you can't see the monitor, and you just got to be careful who you're next to if you're doing stuff like that. So. Are you in seedy places unlocking your phones and stuff like that at all?
Not really.
Yeah.
And even if you watch the video associated with this article, they even said, well, they don't get physical access to your device, so what's kind of the issue? So they know your PIN. I mean, they'd have to get the device as well, which, okay, they could steal it and then they could unlock it. And really what he said was, well, we can also do this with, I guess, keyboard entry. And so they're thinking if you watch over someone's shoulder, even at, a fairly steep angle, you might be able to figure out what their bank password is or what some other passwords are
Okay.
using this technique. It, I don't know.
You know,
It
it
seemed.
it does that does make a little bit more sense. You're sitting. I never check my financial stuff at an airport. I never
Yeah.
check my financial stuff in an area that I know that there's other people around, because especially and I actually I watched this like 2 months ago. Everybody's huddled around the power outlet thing with all the little plugs in and everything like that, and this one person's on their phone and they're logging into their bank, and I'm just standing there watching them put in their password. And I'm not recording it or anything like that. I'm just watching them put in their password, and I knew their password, and not that I did anything with it. I just knew their password. So it was just really interesting. But yeah, I think it's more about education at this point.
Hmm.
Don't go checking your bank statements in the airport unless absolutely necessary. And if you do that, go to a corner. Like
Yeah.
this is a corner right here, and I could just kind of do this, and there's nobody behind me, and there's no problem there. But yeah, it makes sense. It's a great awareness. I'm glad that they're doing that.
Yeah. They probably just throw out the Google Glass angle because they figure it draws more traffic or.
Well, it makes more sense because let's say I'm watching somebody right here log into their bank account. I can go, oh, boop, and I'm turning it on. I'm recording it, and I'm kind of zooming in a little bit, zooming out, and I stop the recording, take the video back home with me, do some enhancement on it, find out their password, and guess. Even if I don't have 100% of the password, maybe one or two characters off, I
Hmm.
can do like 3 or 4 tries, maybe lock it out for about an hour. The next day, try it again, 3 or 4. Not that I'm doing it,
Yeah.
and trying it 3, 4 times, and then go from there. So I see where they're coming from. I mean, this is video, or take a picture or something like that. In this case, it would mostly be video to get
Yeah.
the password. So
Yeah, no, it's a good awareness thing.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
But
And
I would say you should be aware of anyone recording video, not glass users in particular.
that's true.
Anybody, if somebody's holding up their cell phone and recording, over your shoulder while you're putting in your password, you should watch out for that too.
Exactly. Or if you know somebody, if you know that you know the security system in some place, and you can focus it on an ATM machine. Not that I did any of that. Then yeah,
Yeah.
you can really do some damage there. So, but anyway, good things to think about in that, and so just don't do it. And if you got to log into your bank account, don't use the Wi-Fi at the airport. Turn off the Wi-Fi. Use your 4G, 3G connection. Even though there's still questions of security there. It's a lot different than it is when you're hooked up to a public Wi-Fi and some router that hasn't had a version change since 2006. And then
Yeah.
find a corner of a room where nobody stands behind you, and do your check your bank stuff there. But don't huddle yourself around the charger where everybody's standing there trying to get power for their own devices, and just happen to be able to look over your shoulder and find out your password is boondoggle or 1 2 3 4 5 6 or something like that. So, but all right, let's move on from there. We got one more article here, and this is actually really interesting. How did you find this one, Luke?
I was looking for some news on Google Glass, basically, just uh, seeing what I could find. So,
So
Googling.
if you Googled it, yeah, okay. Well, if you read through the horrible, it's whoever designed it did it horribly. I mean, who puts a picture with text behind text? Anyway,
Yeah.
the company is called Holiday Please, and it looks like they're outside of the United States. So if you go on vacation, this is basically a vacation broker firm or something like that. If you go on vacation and you book through them, there's a possibility that you'll be able to get a pair of Google Glass, not to keep, but to take with you on vacation. So from what we deduced is they'll be lending glasses out from June 2014, and you go on your vacation. I guess you hook up to your Google Plus account or something like that, and then you come back, and then you download your pictures, you download your video, you erase the glass. That's the key right there, erasing the glass, and then you give it back to the firm. And of course, if you break your Google Glass, they're probably got some sort of insurance on it or something like that. So, and of course, they do have a set of policies. Don't use glass to record nudity, content of a sexual nature. Respect the privacy. Don't look over somebody's shoulder looking for their password. Don't use glass in places where people want privacy, and keep glasses safe at all times. Now, if you hook up to your Google Plus account and then you erase everything at the end, I don't know how will they notice that you're taking pictures of nude people or something like that.
Yeah.
And would you do that? I suppose if you were going to like a nude beach or something like that with your Google Glass, yeah, there'd be some pictures. So,
Yeah.
are you going to some nude beach somewhere on vacation coming up soon or something?
No, not planning on it.
Okay.
The I'm sure they just put all of that in there so that they can say, look, we told people not to do it, so if they do it, that was against our recommendations. So, they're just trying to protect themselves from any sort of litigation of like, oh, well, we're gonna sue. Well, who gave you that glass? Oh, holidays, please, huh? Yeah, they sound like they got money. Let's sue them for invading my privacy, and all that kind of stuff. So they're saying, nope, we said don't take pictures of. In fact, it says don't take pictures of anyone.
Yeah, right on the bottom it says, so no running around nudist beaches with them on, please.
I know it's like apparently this is what they really expect people to want to do with it because they mentioned it like 3 times in their disclaimer. So
Maybe it's already happened or something.
maybe they've heard
Possible.
about it, or maybe that's what everyone who works there was saying. Oh yeah, that's what people are going to do with them. They're gonna like that way you have hands free when you're walking around the beach. So
Oh, I could say something right there. But this is a G-rated show. So we're just going to leave it at that. But the bottom line though is if you hook it up to your Google account and you delete what if you end up erasing the Google Glass when you give them
Hmm.
back, take whatever you want with them. I mean,
Yeah, they wouldn't
I'm
know.
not. Yeah, they wouldn't know. It would end up on your Google photos if you have them uploaded up there anyway, and maybe they'll get on Google Plus. But that's pretty much it. So, and I see nudity all the time up on Google. It's crazy how much nudity you see up on Google Plus.
I guess I just don't go to the same. I don't have the same people circled, I guess.
Well, I don't either, but I have like 28,000 followers on Google Plus, so
Uh,
I get those. Some of these people, some of it, I have
yeah.
friends that are into body art that do body art,
Yeah.
and I get pictures from that. And I don't call that nudity. I call that art. And then of course you have the art, and then you have the people that really cross that line. It's like uh, a woman in a the hat like that breakfast at Tiffany's with like a little veil, and that veil comes down the body, and there's nothing else on other
Yeah.
than the veil. Speaking of which, I have a very funny story, which I'm going to talk about now.
Okay.
I was Okay, so I have a band, and my band's called Trailer Kings over at trailerkings.com, and we played on Thursday, the day before the 4th of July. And I had a really cool outfit on. I had my American flag shirt on, which I'm really happy about. A friend of mine made it for me, and I bought this. In Walgreens they had these cowboy hats with blue sparkle with stars on them. And I was thinking, oh, this is perfect. This Macho Man Randy Savage-ish, and I love it. It's great. And so, I bought it last year, probably $8-9 or something like that. Well, we get done with the gig, and I'm wearing this hat the whole time, so it's just completely drenched in sweat. Even to the point where I had to take a bandana and put it over my head and put the hat on top of it so it didn't feel sticky or anything like that.
Hmm.
So I get done with the evening, and I'm loading my drums in the car, and this woman's sitting there next to one of the gas fire pits, and she goes, "How much for that hat?" And I go, well, I don't know if you really want it. It's kind of sweaty. And she goes, "No, no, how much? I want that hat. How much for it?" And I'm trying to remember how much I bought it over at Walgreens. I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe $10. I think it was $8 I paid for that. So I said $10, and she goes, "Okay, 15 it is." And I go, "Okay, well, you got a weird way to negotiate, but that's fine with me."
All
She
right.
takes the hat, and I said, "You can have the hat, but I'm not selling this shirt." And she goes, "Oh, I'm not wearing anything else with this hat when I wear it." And I'm like, "Okay, so that." First of all, interesting picture in my head. I have to
Yeah.
apologize to Jennifer because that did happen, but I'm a guy and it happens. But secondly, that's the one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me on a gig.
Yeah.
And I will not lie. That's just it took the cake out of everything that I've ever had happen at a gig. And I'm talking, I've been playing for over 20 years. I've been single for about 15 of those years. So, you can have a lot of fun when you're single playing gigs with alcohol and whipped cream and other things. And we'll leave it at that. But the whole point is that that was probably just the weirdest experience that I ever had, hands down. So, anyway, that was that. I sorry about that. That was a little rant there.
Interesting how the conversation flowed to that topic, but very, yeah, yeah. So don't
Well,
use
I,
Google
I talked
Glass.
I talked
You
about
know,
nudity on Google Plus and then artsy
yeah,
stuff, and
yeah,
then it just it all
yeah.
kind of fell down
Very,
that way.
very strange story. But yeah, I'm glad you made some money on that hat, on a sweaty
Yeah,
hat. That's a pretty good deal.
yeah, I did.
I
And,
gotta buy one of those more often. Yeah.
yeah, well, you've got a sweaty shirt on, don't you?
Right now,
Yeah, you got a
yeah,
cool shirt on now, right?
I guess it's okay. Yeah.
What is it?
This is one of my big letter shirts. So
Yeah, that's where I was
yeah,
going with this.
yeah,
So, what is it?
yeah.
Show us what you got, can you?
So,
Stand up there. Dang!
so this is my exclamation point shirt.
He makes a
That,
statement.
yeah, exactly. It's it goes great at the end of any sort of team name. So if you buy all the shirts to spell out, let's say you spell out Texas Rangers or just Rangers maybe, you know, oh, we've got one extra guy. What are we gonna do? Well, he can wear the exclamation point. So
I could just wear the exclamation point on its own. I think that's a great one. How much is that shirt?
right now, these shirts sell on biglettershirt.com for 20 bucks. So,
Okay.
but I could offer a special discount code for Twig viewers. Uh,
Oh,
I'm not
really?
sure I could. Yeah. Oh, I can set up. I can set that up. Um,
All right. Well,
I
we'll
I
have a special code for you guys next week or something like that. How about Twig? TWIGG.
I think TWIGG sounds like a great coupon code, so I will get that set up. And yeah, so if you're interested in any big letter shirts, use your Twig connection to get a 10% discount. So
There you go. There you go. So, all right. Well, biglettershirts.com. All right. Well, that takes us. That takes us to the next part of the show. I've I do reviews over on geekazine.com, and this is my Nexus 5 that I've been using since December. But the friends over at Verizon have been sending me phones to review, and I've done a couple of them. I'm going to be coming out with these two in the next week. This is the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the HTC One M8, and I've had a couple weeks to play with these, and so I've been trying to figure out, what they're best for, and really digging the Samsung Galaxy S5, including that video that I have up on YouTube.com/Geekazine, where I put this thing into a bowl of water and let it sit for 30 minutes. So that was kind of fun. But the one thing I was testing was the Google Glass, because I wanted to check the Bluetooth capability of Google Glass with these, because there was a point before KitKat that the only phone that could use the Bluetooth low energy was the Samsung Galaxies. Any other Android phone, they couldn't. They wouldn't take a watch. They wouldn't take a glass. They wouldn't take anything because they weren't low energy. But once KitKat came out, then all these phones had this opportunity. So I wanted to try it out and see if there was any major glitches or anything like that. Now, to keep in mind, a very important factor here: the Nexus S5 is KitKat 4.4.4, which is the latest version. These devices, the Samsung and the HTC One, these are at 4.4.2. They haven't done their updates yet on that. So, but lots of great features here. In fact, this just turned on. I'm going to turn that off. I went through one of the tests that I did was Google Glass. How well did they work with Google Glass? Why are you doing? Stop it. There you go. And I found out simply put that out of the three, this one, the Samsung Galaxy S5, actually worked the best when it came to Google Glass, only because it's got a little bit better battery life to it, and so of course they all have comparable processors and memory in there, but yeah, this one just kind of worked a little bit better, a little bit longer when it came to testing my Google Glass. Of course, it couldn't outlast the glass couldn't outlast this anyway. So after about
yeah.
30 minutes, this was dead. But something to think about if you're looking to purchase an Android device and you've got Google Glass and you're saying, well, is one Android device going to be better than the other Android device? Are there, or another question is, will they be able to do what they do with regular Android, and that is adjust a program to a Samsung or a program to an HTC, where you get a special MyGlass for Samsung, MyGlass for HTC. So you've got the Nexus 4, right, Luke?
Correct. I've got an Nexus 4 here that I've had for a while, and it works pretty well with glass. It just uses the standard Bluetooth connection, connects up to it. It does seem to affect the battery life a little bit when I've got glass connected. It definitely uses all the features, like transferring the pictures over when you take them to the device, so you can share them from there, which I think is really nice, but I think that uses a little bit more battery. It doesn't transfer videos, though, so I think that helps kind of save the battery life instead of transferring all that data, but it works pretty
Do
well.
you
I've
have
been
that?
very happy with it.
Do you have that set up as a setting, or it just doesn't do it?
No, it just does that by default. It just all the pictures show up in the MyGlass app, and it gives me a little notification saying, "Hey, you took a picture," and it shows up in there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. So
Hmm.
you say that there's no real problems with glass when it comes to the Nexus 4.
Nope, Nexus 4 works well, which hopefully people would expect being a Nexus device, meaning it comes from Google. They
Hmm.
kind of run all the software on it, so you would think that they would at least have tested with it pretty well. So,
Well, that's true, but there's also the question of updates. Did you say that
mhm.
that one was on KitKat? Is it for what version is it on?
The Nexus 4 now has received 4.4.4, so it's a Nexus 4 running 4.4.4. So it's all forward out.
Okay, and mine's 5 with 4.4.4.
Yeah.
So it's cooler than yours.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know. It is what it is. One more thing. Actually, I wanted to show one more thing here, and I'm really upset because I don't have, my iPhone was stolen last year, so I don't have an iPhone. So I've been doing my glass on the iPad. The only problem is about 2 months ago, they did an update, and this is what happened when they did the update. I ended up uh, uninstalling the version of the app that I had. Why aren't you zooming? There we go. And then trying to reinstall it, and it came up and it says my glass is not compatible with this iPad. Now, here's the problem. This is the iPad Air. I mean, you can't get any better than this iPad. So why aren't you zooming back out? There we go. So the bottom line is that I can't I can't run my glass on this anymore.
Hmm. And you're not running iOS 8 preview or anything like
No,
that, right?
no, this is seven just updated to 7.1.2 or something like that.
Hmm. Very weird.
So yeah, and it's been doing it for a couple months now. I don't know if that was by design, but I the bottom line is I can't test the iOS version of my glass and any of the functionality there, which kind of sucks. So that means I got to find an iPhone that has 7, because the only other iPhone I have right now is my old 3GS, and that's stuck on 6.1.4, and you can't use my glass off of that. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, I've been testing, and I know other people out there have been testing on different Androids. I want to hear from you guys and find out what is there any Android that does run any Android that does run KitKat that you should avoid if you're running Google Glass. I mean, there's the older HTC phones, the older Android phones running 4.1 or 4.0 or 3. Whatever. And of course, you can't do My Glass on most of those anyway. So, but if it's running KitKat and it's a newer Android phone, which Android phones are not good for Google Glass? Let us know. Jeff at twig.tv or thisweekingoogleglass.com. Luke at twig.tv. That's with 2 G's, and go from there. So. And I'm going to keep testing. And I like to thank Verizon for sending me these phones, and I'll definitely be testing them for Google Glass and many different things. Like I said, I got to throw a phone into water and see how it worked. That's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
but all right, well that does it for this episode of This Week in Google Glass. We'll get out of here before my internet connection goes down again. And before we start doing the jelly bean, do the jelly bean, do the jelly bean. Anyway, my name is Jeff, Jeffrey Powers over at Geekazine. You can find me, Jeff, at twig.tv. And my Twitter handle is Geekazine. And Luke, where can people find you?
They can find me all over. So Luke Luca on Twitter if you want to say hey. I've had a couple people contact me through there, or Luke at twig.tv. Also had a couple people reach out that way, and that's great. If you have any questions, just email us and we'll answer on the show, and I'll probably give you an email back. You can find me on Google Plus, google.com/plus Luke Wallace, or biglettershirt.com if you want to buy some shirts. And I've gone through and I've set up that coupon code already while Jeffrey was talking. Twig, TWIGG will get you 10% off. And remember, it's free shipping. So, you know, that includes the shipping price. Basically, you pay that money and the shirt will show up at your door.
I want that exclamation point. It just says a statement right there.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's a great shirt just for
Yeah.
wearing around. So
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So, all right. Well, twig at biglettershirt.com, 10% off. Can't go wrong there.
yeah, yeah.
And we've got our first coupon code. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, and that does it for this week in Google Glass. This week. Anyway, uh,
This, yeah,
yeah, it's kind of a weird
redundant.
tongue redundant twister or something like that. Anyway, so thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for sitting through the skip. Hopefully this show will have fully recorded itself. Either that or it'll be two parts, and I'll just have to splice it together and put it all back up. So my night will end at about 1 o'clock this morning, probably. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. We will be back. We're going to be back next Monday, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, next Monday, and then we'll celebrate my 1 year anniversary with Google Glass and go from there. So you've been watching This Week in Google Glass. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time, and take care and geek out.